So maybe you want to be a guardian of the Earth? Could be like Guardians of the Galaxy. Huh. Anyway, there's so many things that you could do. Here next to the video, maybe you'll see some things written down here, like one thing an environmental scientist does is you could track avalanches. You could help clean up water and earth. You could prevent water and air pollution. You could work with farmers in talking about appropriate crop production. There's so many things that you could do as a job to help our environment. And, we're looking to the future, right? So maybe this is something you could keep in mind. Speaking of jobs and the environment, here's an example of something that some people had to do. Back in 1989, there was this massive oil spill up off the coast of Alaska, and there was a ship that hit a reef, and it was a big tanker ship, and it spilled over 53 million gallons of oil into the water. So the effects of that, they were disastrous. Listen, so I wrote down some, poke my eye out. I wrote down some of the loss of life, of natural life up there. So about 250,000 seabirds were killed by this, 2,800 sea otters, around 300 harbor seals, 247 bald eagles died, 22 orcas were killed because of this, plus an unknown amount, because it's unknown because there were so many, salmon and herring were completely lost. And it was a massive, massive cleanup. That's actually an environmental scientist job, cleaning up oil spills. There was another massive one back in 2010 in the Gulf of Mexico, the BP oil spill. Same thing. It was a huge, what's the word I want? Impact. Thank you. It was a huge impact on the wetlands in that area. Again, massive, massive loss of life. So an environmental scientist, one of the things that they would do is they work with these companies to, first of all, ensure things like this don't happen. Now, honestly, 2 major oil spill events in the course of 30 years, yes, it's horrible, but I guess you could say it could be worse. So they work to prevent things like that and then also come in and help clean it up. So in our next slide, we're going to see an example of something that those people had to do. We're going to try and clean up oil out of water. It's not so easy to do. Anyway, think about your future, you guys. What do you want to do? Now, not everyone wants to do that. Totally fine. But think about it. I actually had looked up on YouTube like a day in the life of an environmental scientist, or how do I become an environmental scientist. There are hundreds of videos out there. Actually, there's a lot of them from different schools around the whole world on how you become one. And it sounds pretty cool. Maybe after I'm a teacher when I retire, maybe that's what I'll do.